This is your boy, Lord Thaddeus Cray. This one is going to be part of the Light in the Darkness series. What's it going to be about? It's going to be about something which is very important. I figure it would be a good thing, especially after, Easter and all that stuff. And believe me, I am definitely grateful to the Lord for His Son coming back from the dead and giving those of us, all of us here, the deliverance that we did not deserve, but we definitely were given. And for that, I'm always grateful. And therefore, unfortunately, it's all too well known about sin nature and the fact that we do things with the flesh. This one is going to be about that. It's going to be about the dangers of arrogance and pride. Now, what is so dangerous about arrogance and pride? It's very self-explanatory. You're too proud to ask for help, or you think, hey, I got this all on my own, or you're just an arrogant douchebag. Well, I call that biting the hand that feeds you. And that's a dangerous thing. Sometimes, hell, I've known of some people who basically have, how can I say this the best way? Just because they have pride, and they think, maybe this other person might have legitimately wronged them, but then they decide, you know what, I'm just going to completely cut any kind of cooperation or anything when, let's say, maybe the other person's in the wrong, a little bit, not much. I'm not talking about someone who's toxic, okay, nothing like that. I'm talking about someone, who basically may have helped you, maybe they missed you off a little bit, but you have this reaction of pride and arrogance, like, man, I don't need you, get away from me. And guess what? Once you start realizing, ooh, wow, I done botched up. And of course, you try crawling back to this person, they're understandably pissed off. And I'm not going to say they cut you off for good, but they may be like, you know what, man? Maybe you need to have a little bit of humble pie. And believe me, it's happened to me more than once. Just to be honest, that is an example of arrogance and pride. It's basically you thinking you can do things in which you probably could, but might be a little bit over your head on. Or sometimes it's just being spiteful. Arrogance is a dangerous thing, and it is one of the most lethal things for the soul. Another part of arrogance could be entitlement. This one right here is definitely something that needs to be discussed. We all have it, one way or another, especially those of us that live in a Western society. I mean, think about it. Us as a people here in this country, yes, believe me, there's a lot of mess here, a lot. But at the same time, if you're hurting, you can go to the store, get something for it, and you're fine for the most part. There's a lot of places, let's say if you have a migraine or something like that, you're going to be stuck like Chuck because there ain't much you can do, much less afford anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I love the fact that there are conveniences in this great country, but at the same time, it's spoiled us. And unfortunately, the lack of discipline, as well as proper teaching, especially with the later generations, including myself at times, has definitely created a new generation or generations of spoiled-grown children who have a lot of pride and a lot of entitlement. And that in itself is a big recipe for disaster. In fact, that sense of entitlement has taken away a lot from me. Now, don't get me wrong, I've gained most of what I had and lost back and then some. And I'm grateful to the Lord for that. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, it took me, you guys already know about my breakdown and some of the things that entailed with it. Now, true, I would say a good bit of it was definitely beyond my control. But a lot of my own arrogance and my own sense of ego, entitlement, etc., set me up for a fall, too. And you guys already know about the rough night that I had in that god-awful hotel room. But in the end, there's a reason I went through that. Because a lot of the stuff that led up to it was a sense of entitlement. You understand where we're going with this? I quit my job at the time thinking, hey, my parents will take care of me. They did, for a while. But unfortunately, I put their lives through hell, including my own. And unfortunately, it took both my mother passing away and my stepfather, who both were very much around for me, unlike my biological father, who Like I said, he was a father, I will admit that. But at the same time, the support, what support? There ain't much of one. Even now, sometimes I feel like I'm an overgrown babysitter. Now, do I resent my dad? Not truly, no. I just had to put on some down hard, how can I say this the best way? I've had to put down some hard lines, boundaries. And unfortunately, again, that's a thing of pride. I had to swallow a lot of it. Be like, you know what? I can't do this on my own, Lord. I need your help. In a way, there's a sense of entitlement in itself. You think you are entitled with your own ability, without the Lord's help, to take care of things. And that in itself was a mistake. And I've had to recently be aware that, you know what, it just don't work that way. And as a result, I've kind of given that to the Lord, and it's helped quite a bit. So many people don't have the understanding. They think either, number one, everything can be given to them, or number two, they can do it all by themselves, and there's no need for help or even to ask for it. Both things are kind of the one side or the other of pride. And let me tell you right now, it's just all around bad. Now, how can I say this? How can you overcome this? It's a simple one. Not easy, but it's simple. You learn from your mistakes. You learn and you're aware. Okay, I did this. It was stupid. You don't do it no more. Now, me, because I have Asperger's and all kinds of lovely stuff, it is difficult at times for me to really get it in here. But once it is, it's there. That's one of the reasons I don't get too many people get out of jail free pass with me when it comes to people saying, oh, I have this or I have that. I'll listen to you the first time or maybe even a couple of times. And I'm aware you're working with me. Let me tell you right now, man, I have your back, 100%. But if you use it as a cop-out, I'm going to tell you right now, at times I've had to do some old dance moves, and one of them's the boogie. Is it? See ya. Love you to death, man. I wish you well, but you know what? That kind of entitlement and that kind of copping out is a good way to get someone hurt or even killed in a real extreme situation. So therefore, I've had to learn, number one, look out for it within myself, and I fight it every day. Number one. Number two, don't tolerate in other people. Because guess what? If you allow someone to do that, you're disabling them and yourself. And also disrespecting them and you. It's not a good thing. This is one thing I felt that needed to be put out there. Take accountability for your actions, and I promise you, things will fall in line afterward. I just want to put this out there. You guys be blessed and you be safe.